Ready for a deep dive into a book that really makes you think?
Oh, yeah.
One that sticks with you
Definitely.
and kind of makes you question everything you thought you knew about humanity? We're talking about Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood's End.
It's a classic for a reason, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Even though it was written way back in the 50s,
Right.
Childhood's End
Mm-hmm.
still feels so relevant today.
It does.
You know, it tackles these huge questions, like the
Yeah.
really big existential ones we all think about.
Yeah, and it just grabs you right from the start.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, picture this. Giant alien ships
Whoa.
appearing over major cities all across the world.
What a way to start a story.
Talk about an attention grabber.
No kidding?
But Clarke's not just trying to shock you.
Right.
He's tapping into something deeper.
Exactly.
That primal fear of the unknown. If something like that actually happened,
Yeah.
wouldn't we all feel that same
Oh, yeah.
like fear and uncertainty,
Yep.
especially about what's out there in space? It's
Yeah.
like he's playing on our deepest anxieties.
And then you've got the Overlords.
Ah, yes.
These seemingly benevolent aliens who come in and immediately take charge.
But they say it's for our own good.
Right. To protect us from ourselves.
Yeah, we're here to help, they say.
But that's where things get really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because it creates this paradox.
Like, on one hand,
Yeah.
they usher in this golden age.
Right.
No more wars,
Mm-hmm.
no poverty,
Right.
no disease.
It sounds perfect.
It does.
But at what cost?
exactly.
They basically take away our freedom to choose.
Our free will
Yeah.
to even make our own mistakes.
I like being a kid again.
All right.
With your parents telling you what to do.
We know what's best for you.
Exactly.
But is that really how we want to live?
That's the question Clarke makes you ask.
He forces us to confront this idea.
Mm-hmm.
Is a perfectly comfortable and controlled society
Right.
really ideal?
Because what are we giving up in exchange for that?
Our freedom,
Yeah.
our individuality, our right to struggle.
To learn and grow from our experiences.
And to top it off,
What's that?
the Overlords refuse to show their faces for decades.
Oh, yeah, that's a great part.
They stay hidden,
Shrouded in this mystery.
which just makes us even more suspicious.
Of course. The unknown is always scary.
Right, and when they finally do reveal themselves,
Oh, boy.
well,
It's not what anyone expected.
let's just say it doesn't exactly calm our nerves.
Said it all.
After 50 years of waiting,
50 years.
they show up looking like demons.
Clarke really paints a good picture there.
Oh.
Horns,
Mhm.
bat wings.
The whole 9 yards.
It's like he's taking our deepest fears
Yeah.
and giving them a physical form.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
They act totally peaceful. It's this huge contradiction.
It makes you think.
Like, are we judging them based on looks alone?
It's a brilliant way to challenge our prejudices.
And there's even this suggestion
Oh, tell me.
that this whole image of the devil, this classic symbol of evil,
Right.
might actually be a premonition,
Wow.
a memory from the future somehow embedded in our minds.
That's a mind-blowing idea.
It really makes you question everything.
Like the nature of time
Yeah.
and perception.
Maybe even reality itself.
I had a whole other layer to the story.
And just when you think it can't get any weirder,
What?
we meet the next generation.
Oh, the children.
Yeah. And these kids,
What about them?
they start developing these incredible psychic abilities.
Like what?
Telepathy,
Wow.
telekinesis,
No way.
you name it.
They're not just ordinary kids anymore.
They're becoming something else entirely.
Something beyond human.
And it's all connected to the Overlords and their ultimate goal,
Which is
to guide humanity towards this higher state of being.
the overmind.
Exactly.
It's such a fascinating concept.
Isn't it?
This vast interconnected intelligence.
Like a collective consciousness.
Yeah, that transcends individual minds.
Imagine a future where humanity is no longer separate.
We're all one.
And the children,
What about them?
they're the first step in that direction.
It's both beautiful and terrifying at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
To see your child evolving,
Yeah.
developing these amazing powers.
But knowing that they're becoming something you don't fully understand.
Something that might eventually leave us behind.
It's a lot to process.
It is.
But we'll delve into that more in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't. What?
Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
That tension between the Overlords doing all this good,
Right.
but also taking away our free will.
Yeah.
I mean, is that really living?
That's what Clarke really makes you think about. Like, is a life without struggle,
Yeah.
without making your own choices,
Yeah.
even your own mistakes.
Right.
Is that really a life worth living?
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly.
But the Overlords, they've taken away all the risk. all the chances to fail.
And to learn, to
Exactly.
grow.
Everything's so comfortable and predictable.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
have they accidentally made humanity
Yeah.
like less vibrant?
Let's,
You know, less driven?
Makes you wonder if,
If what?
like, do we even have the right
To do what?
to, like, impose our values on another species?
Even if we think we know what's best for them?
Yeah, it's like a cosmic version of colonialism.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Right.
Yeah.
They come in.
Take control.
It's like, are we really so different? You know?
No. Like, think about how we interact with other cultures.
Sometimes we fall into that same trap.
Of thinking we know best.
Clarke was writing this during a really interesting time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like post-World War II,
Mm-hmm.
decolonization movements.
Right.
So these questions about power and control, they were front and center.
And it's crazy how relevant it still is today.
Totally.
Like with technology and AI.
It could reshape society in ways we can't even imagine.
Which brings us back to the overmind.
This higher intelligence.
It's never fully explained.
Which honestly makes it even more intriguing.
Like, what are its limits?
Right.
What are its capabilities?
Yeah. And we see these hints of it through the kids.
The children's powers.
Yeah.
Their minds are like merging
Into something bigger.
beyond our understanding.
That's mind-blowing.
What if our individual minds, our separateness, is what's holding us back
From what?
from like a greater reality, a higher level of consciousness?
But then I think,
What do you think?
like, what happens to me?
To your individuality,
Yeah.
do you cease to exist?
It's kind of scary.
It's a complex idea
Definitely.
with huge implications.
And then we've got Jan Roderick's
Oh, yeah, he's been on quite a journey.
coming back to Earth after decades.
What does he find?
A completely transformed world.
Everything he knew is gone.
It's not the Earth he left behind.
He's like a relic of the past,
Yeah.
witnessing the dawn of something totally new.
I feel like there's a sadness to his story,
Oh, definitely.
but also this awe.
Like he's seeing something truly momentous,
Yeah, humanity is changing,
evolving.
becoming something else.
It really makes you think about our need to understand, to make sense of the universe,
Even when it's hard.
especially when it's hard.
And then it all leads up to this.
The climax, their
Yeah.
powers are fully developed.
They merge into the overmind.
They leave Earth behind,
It's visually spectacular.
but also so philosophical.
Yeah. Is this the end of humanity?
Or is it the next step?
What do you think?
About what?
The transformation.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Does it fill you with wonder or apprehension?
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Like, it's fascinating and kind of spiritual, but also what happens to me?
To you as an individual?
Yeah, like, do I still exist?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clarke makes us wrestle with that. Like incredible growth, but also maybe huge loss.
It's not just about me, though, right? Like, what about love
Yeah.
or creativity?
What happens to those things?
If we all become like,
If we're all connected,
does that just disappear?
it really makes you rethink what it means to be human.
I feel like that's what good science fiction does.
Oh, totally.
Challenges you to think differently.
About things you thought you knew.
Childhood's End definitely does that.
So as we wrap up,
Yeah.
what are some of the key takeaways?
Well, one thing that stuck with me
Yeah.
is that we're not the center of the universe.
Clarke really
Yes.
challenges our anthropocentrism.
It's humbling.
It's-
It's to think there might be other intelligences out there.
So different from us.
That we might not even recognize them.
We tend to define intelligence based on our own experience.
Right, like we're the model.
But what if that's just a tiny part of what's possible?
And then there's the whole question of progress.
Right.
The overlords bring peace,
Prosperity.
but we lose our freedom.
Our agency.
They stop suffering.
But also maybe creativity.
Innovation.
It's like a trade-off.
A dilemma
We face that even today
with technology.
with social structure.
Even personal choices.
Like, is there a way to balance it?
to move forward without losing ourselves.
Clarke doesn't give us easy answers
But he makes us think.
about the consequences.
Yeah, like, are we making the right choices?
Childhood's End is like a warning.
But also maybe hopeful.
How so?
Well, it warns us about progress going wrong.
Making choices without seeing the big picture.
But maybe even with all the changes,
Even losing our human form.
there's something better waiting.
Something beyond what we can imagine.
Like Clarke is saying, embrace the unknown.
Yeah, it could lead to something amazing.
So going back to that question.
About Jan Roderick's.
Yeah, would you join the Overmind?
Or stay behind?
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Makes you really think about what matters most.
Your values.
Your vision for the future.
The comfort of the collective.
Or your own individual identity.
Childhood's End really gave me a lot to think about.
Me too. It's not just about aliens and spaceships.
It's about us.
What it means to be human.
Our place in the universe.
If you haven't read it yet,
definitely check it out.
It'll stay with you.
It makes you ask the big questions.
About who we are and where we're going.
And what if the end of childhood?
Yeah.
Is just a new beginning?
A new chapter for humanity.
It's a journey.
Of exploration and discovery.
We each have to take it for ourselves.
That's a great way to end it.
Thanks for joining us.
For this deep dive into childhood's end.
Keep questioning, keep exploring.
And keep your mind open.
Who knows what we might find?